is harsh reality for the 200 iron falcons of the canyon named Aeneir's Blade. According to legend, the god...
It's just simply not true. So yeah, basically what ends up happening is that the people that are inside of like that middle area, where they don't have enough money to be comfortable enough to be able to afford healthcare, but they don't have too little money to be uncomfortable enough to get the government assistance, those people in like that middle ground, that purgatory, they're the ones that are getting absolutely fucked.
We need to gather more wood, Commander.
Live on $15,000 a year or less. We have the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on Earth. And the gap between the people on top and everybody else is getting...
I understand.
And then, Kristen, on top of all
they won't stand a chance.
We got a corrupt campaign finance system, which allows...
I understand.
Building completed.
People are telling me this wasn't happening earlier today. Oh, that's not happening. Of course it's happening. What do you mean it's not happening? What do you mean this is the biggest problem? Yes. It's terrible.
You're the commander, aren't you? I am. What's wrong? There's been a sighting of this entity more Yes. Okay. In the mountains, to the southwest. Thank you. And Tiara's blessings.
At my company.
Understood.
Or we're going to hire you
as you
after you end your term at this company for a large amount of money, right? It's all of these like little soft, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, you know, quid pro quo type stuff. That's the bad stuff right there. And that's where it gets really corrosive.
They will burn.
Very rarely is there just like a massive bag of money that is exchanged. Sometimes, of course, there is.
An average worker out there would say, I'm working longer and longer hours, going nowhere in a hurry, worried about my kids,
swift.
And yet the people on top have never had it so good. Where is
the main thing that he said that mattered the most is the going nowhere in a hurry. That's why people are really fucking mad. It's because you used to be able to work for something and be able to like think that there was a light at the end of the tunnel.
Sure.
And somebody turned the light out.
Of course.
So people don't want to be in the tunnel anymore.
Pretty simple. Are they prepared to stand up to this powerful corporate interest, raise the minimum wage, fight for
Understood.
For all people?
Got it.
Make sure that all of our kids get the quality education that they need. Expand Social Security. Are they prepared to do those things?
Good.
By the way, I agree with him about everything. Completely agree with him.
It's the issue that we have to address.
Well, as you know, your statement was met with some sharp reaction as well. This is what Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi had to say. Take a look at your reaction.
Nancy, I know Bernie probably can't say this, but that corrupt ass witch sitting here betting on companies the day before, putting massive stock in companies.
That way.
How much money has she made in the fucking stock market? How's she worth over $100 million? I thought this. I thought being the being a senator only pays you like $200K a year or $300K a year. How does that happen? $200 million? Wow, wow. What a So I bet she's gonna get mad at Bernie Sanders. I bet she is. She's gonna, wow, it's so divisive. You shouldn't be saying that. Yeah, because your money's at risk.
Bernie Sanders has not won. And I have a great deal of respect for him, for what he stands for. But I don't respect him saying that the Democratic Party has abandoned the working class ballot.
Senator, how do
Bro, about losing her fucking money. You know that they're exempt from insider trading? And you want to know like one absolute fucking G about this? Tim Walz. Tim Walz is not having I massively fucking I do. Absolutely. That's crazy. Yes.
I'll do what's required. You read my mind.
Absolutely. You might disagree with Tim Walz about a million other things. And let's say you're right about all of those things. But with this other one thing, that's
as you want.
That's all?
Well, Nancy, I'm only getting started. We've worked together on many issues. But here's the reality. I have to say to Nancy, in the Senate in the last 2 years, we have not even brought forth legislation to raise the minimum wage.
They will make it
wage, despite the fact
we're
that
being attacked.
People in this country are working for less than $15 an hour. In America today, we have not brought, in the Senate, we have not brought
it will be bloody.
The PRO Act to make it easier for workers to join unions. We're not talking about defined benefit pension plans.
I understand.
So that our elderly
They won't stand a
I
chance.
think unions are a
Whatever's
stopgap.
necessary.
I think unions are pseudo-government, and in a perfect world, you wouldn't need unions because the
you smell
government would
that?
advocate for you
Incense.
in place of the unions.
This must have been some
It's my
kind of
opinion.
ritual site.
I understand
Wait,
unions
did you
are
hear that?
necessary evil,
Sword.
and I don't really want to say
Blazes.
evil, but that's my personal opinion.
retired security.
Some of
We're
that
not talking
is
about
paid.
lifting the cap on Social Security.
I'm more pro than against.
So that we can extend the solvency of Social Security.
Azar.
and
A
raise
what?
revenue.
The kind of demon that normally only appears in Bargagor. According to the law, when a tribe gets weak, shit, that's more than bad.
Don't you think we can
We can try.
Yeah, are they do
Well, that will most likely end with...
sacrifice?
Yes.
Everybody knows them.
We can put the tribe eater back to sleep.
I
hate to say it, but it might be one life to save.
Wait a
Send him into the circle. The demon will do the rest. And as cruel as it may sound, it's possible that he'll even thank us for it. Now let's act.
Forget about it. I'm not giving...
Fine. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Progressive president since FDR. And I think on domestic issues, not foreign policy, on domestic issues, he has kept his word and the agenda.
Will
I mean, as student loan forgiveness, Biden did do a lot of good things. Sure, I think that's fair.
That he has pushed through has been an extraordinarily strong one. But that agenda has got to be placed within the overall context of American society today. And that American society today is one in which tens of millions of working families and elderly people are struggling while the people on top have never had it so good.
But Senator, should he have done
That's the thing, is people are making more money after Biden's the worst president of all time, in my opinion. No, I understand that, like, the CHIP Act and Infrastructure Act were good legislations. Yeah, I mean, like,
How do you like that?
he did pass some good things.
Sure.
And they happen. You don't win any points by refusing to acknowledge reality. Yeah, like, that's true.
Prepare
There were
yourselves.
some good decisions
They
that were
will
made.
fall.
Let's burn them.
Like that,
You read my mind.
It's not
I'll make it
crazy
quick.
to say that.
Yes, a good
out of the
idea.
race more quickly?
The outpost has been built. We've expanded our
I
borders.
supported him because I think his agenda was a strong agenda, a working
Yeah,
class
sure.
agenda. I'm not going to
Bernie supported them because he knew it probably wasn't even going to be Biden to begin with, right? Because that's what a lot of people are saying. They're like, oh, it wasn't even him doing this stuff. It's like, yeah, you're probably right. He had some great policies. He was just not good at talking to people and presenting the message. I think that media played a really negative role in his campaign too, in like a weird way. Because it felt like
Building
media,
completed.
Like, definitely like puffed him up in a lot of ways, but it also misrepresented other things too. And I think that at the end of the day, the media just kind of
picked the wrong enemies.
The media thought we could. The media. That's basically what happened.
Building completed.
ordinary people say, yeah, that is a party that is fighting for my interest and prepared to take on the economic.
Building completed.
Good idea.
A good spot.
The outpost has been built. We've expanded our borders.
Making videos in their mansions. Like there's photos coming out of them with Diddy and stuff like this, like Usher, stuff like this. It's so off-putting, right? Because it's all of these people in their ivory towers that are coming down to tell you, like, oh, we need to vote to be all of us be together. It's just so fucking bullshit. The Avengers, yeah, exactly. She got the Diddy list.
We need to gather more
True,
wood,
but
Commander.
unironically. Yeah.
To me, what the issue is.
Yeah, we're talking a lot about the economics. You've talked about how the Democratic Party is out of touch when it comes to
Anything on your
economic
mind?
issues. Some Democrats are saying it's not just economic issues, it's cultural issues as well. Here's the Democratic strategy team's cover. Take a look.
What killed the Democrats, what killed Biden, was a sense of disorder.
I understand.
And part of the sense of disorder
Of course.
was the uncertainty.
It will be bloody.
Or at least the woke era.
Yeah.
A good spot.
Yeah.
Building completed.
The Democratic Party's
What's
focus
next?
on identity politics.
Good
gone too
idea.
far, Senator?
The outpost has been built.
everybody
We've
knows
expanded our borders.
Let me answer it this way.
He doesn't want to get into it. He doesn't give a fuck about it. I don't think Bernie Sanders has ever given a fuck about identity
Blazes,
politics
somebody
at
help
all.
me! Get
He's
those sodding
always
things
cared
off
about
me!
Economic policy.
We're being
The
attacked.
entire time. He's just not the guy to
Let
talk
us
about
see.
this.
Think you, if the Democratic Party
Blasted bliss.
They're busy.
That's you look as though you
Where are they?
probably up north.
All right.
Thank you. I'd come and help you, but aye, any word from my brothers yet?
Protect the women's constitutional right.
We'll make short work of them.
We led the fight for civil rights, for gay rights. That is something we should be proud of. But it's not either
I am ready.
or. This is the problem. You can do both. You can set it up for raising the minimum wage to eliminate.
Prepare yourselves.
Health care for all people. Expanding Social Security. And by the way, I also support a woman's right to control her own body, etc. It's not either
What
or.
do you
It's
require?
going forward in both directions.
They won't stand a
You know, I've
chance.
been speaking to some Democrats who are concerned.
Yeah, he just doesn't like. Honestly, I think Bernie literally just
I
doesn't
understand.
give a fuck about this. Like, I'm sure he has opinions on it and he cares a little bit, but I think he realizes that
Blazes. It's
if you really look at
towards
where
our
are
outpost.
problems in the country, transgender is at the top of that list. Even though, like, for people it is, because they see it as something that they can understand. You know, from his perspective, that's I mean, you can't.
Building completed.
His now president-elect has beaten 2 men. The concern is that it will make it
Zarek got
A good spot.
expansion is the key to victory.
The outpost has been built. We've expanded our borders.
Look, I'm not going to deny that there is sexism in this country, that there's racism, there's homophobia. It's there. But on the other hand,
We need to gather more wood,
what
Commander.
The American people want to support, whether it's a woman, a man, a black or a white, or Latino, whatever, if they want to support somebody who is standing up
Yes.
and fighting for them, people are in pain. People are hurting. They can't afford to go to a doctor. They can't afford to send their kids.
What do we need? Tiara's breath.
How crazy he must
That
feel, where like
I told you, didn't I?
the highest point in like U.S. wealth and equality, and people can't stop about who gets to use what bathroom. Like, can you imagine how absolutely fucking insane he must feel? It's so it is.
Our workers are under attack.
Generations of what kind of standard of living they want. And it has to be done.
I got it.
You picked the wrong.
See Bernie Sanders making like statements on this, like,
It will be bloody.
Bernie Sanders speeches, you can look at black and white photos of him being arrested and protesting. Like, he doesn't need to virtue signal.
We need to gather more
Doesn't
wood,
even
Commander.
need to do that. I think that's again, like that's kind of like what I was saying before about how like a lot of the people that feel like they need to virtue signal and like put themselves out there and be like, oh yeah, I'm like this special good person. A lot of them are doing it because they've never actually done that. You know, they've led lives of just absolute, you know, fucking uncontrolled privilege, and they've never stood for anything. They never had any sort of like. They've never lost anything for what they believed in, right? And so, I think it's also very telling that like one of the only people that's like still around. To be
We're
fair,
being attacked.
you know, in Congress that was like still like very much like involved in civil rights is not even bringing that up.
Building
You
completed.
think about it, right? It's not even bringing this up. It's not even part of it.
On top, it is not working for the working class. All right? how do we address those issues?
We're being attacked.
The richest country on the history of the world create an economy that works for all.
They will burn.
That is the issue. And by the way, what Trump did in his election is to say, I know that you're hurting, and the reason is you got millions of people coming across the border illegally. They're eating your dogs, they're eating your cats.
Building completed.
It happened to be a pretty crazy explanation. Yes, we got to strengthen the border, but that is not going to raise wages for working people.
Our workers are under attack.
And that explanation is corporate
You read my mind.
and the power of the billionaire class. I know that's uncomfortable for people in the
For NBC News.
What do you require?
I understand.
Yeah.
Is there anything you need?
Democratic Party, some people, but that is the issue we have to address.
Senator, quickly
Sarek
before I let
guides
you go, I do want to ask you about the Supreme Court. Some Democrats behind the scenes quietly talking about the possibility, should Justice Sotomayor step down to
We'll make sure.
allow
Building completed.
Biden to appoint someone who's younger. She's only 76 years old. Is that
Building completed.
Or do you think she should step down? Have you heard any talk?
I need more time.
That's it. Only 70? Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think there's a high. I mean, Bernie's 80 fucking 84 years old.
The outpost has been built. We've expanded our borders.
This?
We're being attacked.
Bernie Sanders.
I can't focus. I'm injured.
Blazes! Help me, somebody!
That's crazy.
Yes.
Sure.
Asking an 85-year-old and whether a 70-year-old should retire. Yeah, it's like, what are you trying to say, you know? But anyway, yeah, I mean, I pretty much support everything that he's saying. And the funny thing is that I think that if you ask average people, like, there's a lot of like baggage that comes with words like socialism, communism, and like people have these words that are attached to like Bernie Sanders and you know all that. But I think that if you took the name off of these promises, or not promises, off of these policies, and you just gave them to people as like line items, I think that he would have pretty much 100% approval with a lot of these. I do. I think it would be well above 60% people approving of this. And I think that that's the reason why he did so well. That's why they, in my opinion, I think they had to rig it against him, right? Especially in 2016. And so, yeah, they stole it from Bernie. I know. You agree with this? The Democrats are just as much beholden to corporate interests just as the Republicans. They don't want an economic plan that'll benefit average people, but at least the Republicans lie to their base to win.
Good move.
Expansion is the key.
We're being attacked.
To say both companies. Both parties exist to serve the. I really think that's true. I don't think that like the Democrat Party exists to serve the working class. I don't think the Republican Party exists to serve the working class. I think that they occasionally throw them a bone, but for the most part, they exist to maintain the status quo and to effectively keep
Building
the wheel turning,
completed.
right? And so that's my opinion. And I'm I'm
Building
conspiracy
completed.
Andy with this kind of stuff, but that's what I believe. It's terrible. Yeah, I think so too. And, most politicians are lawyers, and they take on people's side for money for a profession. Dumb take. The Republican Party is brand new. Okay. Yeah. Let's just move on. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't even know really what to say about that.
Understood.
Let me see. I'll watch like maybe one more. Then
They
I
will
want to
burn.
move on and do some other shit. And it's really called the Grand Old Party. Well,
What do we
if
need?
I remember correctly, the Republican Party was started by.
Building completed.
It was started by.
Building completed.
Right? I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, it was started by. And So what are we really talking about?
Whatever.
Building completed.
To free the slaves? Yeah, I'm not going to free the slaves. But yeah.
Yes.
You picked the wrong enemies.
I'll make it quick.
They didn't care about the middle class, and they kept telling them, you're mistaken. The border
They will fall.
Inflation is moderate. Bidenomics is working. People abroad
Building completed.
have never been more impressed with it. It's all a lie. People finally just waited and did their
I'll be
time.
swift.
They said, we can't take this anymore. We're going to send a message. Let's get to it. And now we're facing a situation where the left is openly saying, well, we may have lost
Prepare
the election,
yourselves.
but maybe Fannie Willis or Peter James or Alvin Bragg or something will put him in jail. This will not be a majority like 2017 and there are a sizable number of never-Trumpers among the Republican ranks. But there is no John McCain, there is no Bob Corker, there is no Jeff Flake in the Senate, there is no Adam Kinzinger type, there is no Liz Cheney in the House. The people who are in the majority now are strong supporters of the person.
Let me recover!
Victor, thank you so much for giving us some time on this very important climate change. One of Australia's top journalists about the American election.
Yes, a good idea.
Slaves of Middle America.
The outpost has been built. We've expanded our borders.
Saint, but they turned the electoral map red because they endorsed his bedrock positions that living standards were in retreat, inflation was too high, borders were not secure.
We're being
elites
attacked.
Were too arrogant. Is that a fair assessment?
I think it's a very fair, it's a very accurate assessment. I think they also saw that the occasional crudity of Donald Trump was almost a mechanism in their desperation that was necessary to get the attention of the elites. In other words, they wanted somebody who wouldn't equivocate.
Got it.
And didn't come from that milieu. And so they were really saying, your agenda has no support, and yet you're ramming it down our throats, and you won't listen to us. And you make fun of us, you call us garbage, deplorables, irredeemables, clingers, chumps, dregs. These are all pejoratives that Biden and Obama and the Clintons have used. And
we're being attacked.
Forced us to do this, but we have now a champion who's going to cut through all of this and remind you that
building completed.
Not Hollywood or the institutions or academia in Silicon Valley.
Yes.
And so they were actually about what this earthquake was.
Building completed.
Storm. Everybody could see it. I think some of them saw it, but the media felt in the last 72 hours
we're being attacked.
that they rigged the poll in Iowa, or they said that it was dead even, or that the Senate was going to be held by the
Understood.
Democrats.
I'll make it quick.
That would either get
I'll do
people
what's
to the
required.
polls, or it would raise money
Building
or
completed.
create momentum. But John, there were so many indicators
Understood.
would prove what Mr. Kelly said, that the registrations were an all-time high. The Republicans had gained 600,000 registrations since the last time they
We'll make short work of them.
Pennsylvania in 2020. They had been completely dumbfounded in 2020
Now would you look
on
at that?
non-election day balloting, and yet they had more people non-election day ballot. They mastered the art.
Long story. He is.
All right. They got almost 25%
That way. All right.
black males that really.
You read my mind.
Key statistic. Black males who did not stayed home.
As you want.
So these big centers of rural areas, Philadelphia, not there. They said there was a female sex.
There it is. Take out those undead.
In many states, you got more suburban white women than did terrorists. The Hispanic. I had never seen a
Expand attention is the key to being attacked.
Community overwhelmingly so, but I had not talked to a Mexican American over the age of 40, male, who was going to vote for
Corporal?
Kamala Harris, and that had not been true in 2016. They even had the Amish going on. They worked the
Anything on your mind?
Muslim vote. They split the Jewish vote, which usually is 70-30. All of that was known to the pollsters and to the media, yet they kept telling us that Donald Trump was dumbfounded by Saturday Night Live, that Donald Trump had threatened to kill Liz Cheney, that Donald Trump wanted to kill the media, and they didn't.
Building completed.
Everybody got sick of him. They didn't want to be lectured to, and they knew what was going to happen. Everybody that I knew from the middle classes thought Donald Trump was going to win.
Whatever's necessary.
The reality is, it looks here.
I need more time!
All the so-called influencers, most of the media, were absolutely
understand.
and painting Trump as a threat.
We're being attacked!
A win for them because people saw through it. They're not the mark
I need mana!
that the elites take to do.
No, they, as you say, they had academia, Hollywood,
I can't
entertainment,
focus.
celebrities, the money, Wall Street,
Help me.
Foundation. All they lacked was
I'm injured.
their
What's next?
agenda. They had lied to
The
American
outpost has been
people.
built.
They had
We've
said
expanded our
Donald Trump
borders.
is a disruptor, a disuniter, and we, under old Joe Biden from Scranton in 2020, will unite the country under moderation, and that was a complete lie. They used him as a vessel, an empty vessel, for an Obama extreme agenda of open borders with no health or background checks, 12 million illegal aliens, uninhabitable downtown of our major cities. They were
Building completed.
Crime, an attack on fossil fuels, nuclear power, a disastrous foreign policy that you could define it by the Afghanistan debacle or the two wars in Ukraine and the Middle East, or the Chinese balloon, or China's threat to Taiwan. In addition to that, at a time when the supply chains were still stagnant, consumer demand was ascending at astronomical levels after the COVID lockdown. They printed money, and so they
I'll do what's required.
fake dollars in the hands of consumers when they couldn't get goods.
Let's get to
the
work.
result was 9% inflation and hyperinflation, 30% total.
Is there anything you need?
Staples and food, insurance, rent. So they didn't care about the middle class, and they kept telling them, you're mistaken.
Yes.
The border is secure, Mr. Mayorkas said. Inflation is moderate, Kamala Harris said.
As you want.
Bidenomics is working.
Zarek guides me.
People
Building
abroad
completed.
have never been more impressed with the United States. That's all a lie. The people finally...
Hi, ni hao.
You're welcome.
They said, we
Listen,
can't take this anymore. We're gonna send a
this
message
might
to
sound
what
odd,
you said,
but you wouldn't know a good place.
You still have, I guess.
There, you wouldn't get a sense of the unreality
Oh,
when
you
you
do?
talk to people.
Well,
And they
it's settled
really
then.
did believe
You have
they were
some
gonna turn
business
on
to
their
take care of
TV
here
sets
first,
because
though,
the New
don't
York
you?
Times Siena
Just
poll,
let us know when you're
or
done and
Nate
we'll join you
Silver
at the
said
entrance
that
of the
The
canyon.
Washington Post poll had been rehabilitated, or the 20th Act
You know
poll.
how to
They
bargain,
showed it was
don't you?
dead and even, or Harris was ahead in the popular vote, or Pennsylvania was a sure thing, or Ted Cruz was only 2 points ahead, or Iowa was 3 points, and it was all completely bogus. There was no factual basis, no data for any of it. It was just a mechanism of massaging the outcome.
Did you see yourself imagine such a decisive victory?
Our workers are under attack.
Did I imagine the victory? Yeah.
Such a decisive victory.
Yeah, I thought he had a good chance of winning the popular vote, just because if you have a Republican candidate, the way it works here, as you know, they lose the urban areas, the minority votes, and they count on the rural
Our
areas.
workers are under attack.
Under the Obama massaging, those urban areas had reached such a, when Obama ran in 2012 against Romney for the election, he won 1 seat.
I'll make it quick.
30,000.
Understood.
Let's burn
How could we ever make that? When you hear that
Donald Trump was going to get half of the Latinos.
I'll be swift.
Or he was going to get 25% of the black vote.
Let's get to
Or he was going to get union people. Or the United Auto Workers. Or the Teamsters. No, that hasn't happened here. And this was a man that they said was racist or polarizing and hateful. And then when you saw that suburban white women were going over him at the
They
time,
will
they were
fall.
told all they care about is abortion on demand. Yeah, you can see that he had made him, and you had to superimpose on the reality that unlike a Bob Dole or Mitt Romney,
You picked the wrong enemies.
It will be
he had
bloody.
a fanatical faith in rural and small town America. And I mean, the fanatical is defined by they would do anything local. If there's a hurricane in rural North Carolina,
Our population is at
matter.
maximum
They were gonna
capacity.
get out
We
and
need to
anyway.
expand.
Nobody had ever seen such loyalty. And these were the people of East Palestine, Ohio. Administration completely ignored when they had a toxic fume.
Yes, a good idea.
That were
The
in
outpost has been
hurricane
built.
damage.
We've
They were
expanded
very
our borders.
targeted in helping. And so I think it's a very good lesson because it's democracy and representative democracy in its best form. You know what? It's another irony. We were told, John, that with the National Voters Compact, that the blue states were only 61 votes short of getting rid of the Electoral College, which has a lot of constitutional protections in it and has a long
Our
history
population
of,
is at maximum
of
capacity.
utility
We need to
for both
expand.
sides. And these state legislatures had voted
Yes.
to
Prepare
go
yourselves.
around the amendment.
We're
law.
being attacked.
They could never do. You need 2/3 of Congress, 3/4 of the states, and just have the states adhere to the national vote and reject the state vote because they were sure they were going to win the national vote, and they had won the every national vote since 2004
Building completed.
for 20 years, and a Republican hadn't gotten 51% of the majority vote
If you
since
insist.
1988.
Building
Guess
completed.
what? Donald Trump was the first person in 20 years on the Republican side to win the popular vote. He will probably
won't
be
stand
the
a
first
chance.
Republican since 1988 to win 51% of the popular vote. And all the states that swore and passed legislation, they would unconstitutionally
Zarek
reflect
guides
the
me.
national
I'll make
vote.
it quick.
They're not doing it. California is pledging all of its electors to win the state as they should. So the more that the aftermath is really making the
Building
left
completed.
look pretty bad.
We'll make short work of them.
It will be bloody.
They will burn.
His acceptance.
Let's burn them.
Whatever you might choose to call it. To
Prepare
say that
yourselves.
he would seek to
I'll make it
heal
quick.
America, given that he may, in fact, have secured that first majority vote for so long and so forth. Is he in a position to do so? You know, America looks so violent.
What do you require?
So at war with itself. I mean, the constant calling on him as a fascist. I have to say,
he is.
People apparently don't know what the word means.
No. You must remember that after 2016, he and Hillary, she was calling him a Russian agent, and he was calling her Crooked Hillary. Everybody thought that
Building
she had
completed.
destroyed 30,000 emails and the devices on them, and they were under subpoena. He
It
would
will be
have
bloody.
DOJ go after her. What did he say? The first thing he said, she suffered enough. People went to him and said, "You've got to fire James Comey, the director of the FBI. He tried to sabotage it." I'm not going to do that. He never did any of that. But how can he heal the country when Lakita James, a prosecutor in New York, who tried to bankrupt him and said that she's going to press down? How can you do when Alvin Bragg at the end of the month is going to try to put him in jail? And Jack Smith has re-indicted him, a federal prosecutor, for all of these were minor matters that no other prosecutor would have picked up. They've never done it since the next president. And now we're facing a situation where the left is openly saying, well, we may have lost the election, but maybe
You read my
Fannie
mind.
Willis or Lakita James or Alvin Bragg or Jack Smith can put him in jail. And that would cause
For the fire wielders!
He's been, 2 people tried to shoot him.
I'm injured.
Everybody had heard or knew from Harris that had rejected 30 years of radical, very radical agendas.
I can't focus.
But everybody now
I need Donna.
that she has 90 days left on her vice presidential tenure. She'll just revert back to what she was before the campaign. So
give me a moment to focus.
The hostility is coming from
I need Donna.
And it's always been
anything on your mind?
Will do.
Politics that we've seen.
Good move.
There's something about Donald Trump that, and you see it in your country, you see it in Europe among wealthy elites.
What do you want?
Educated elites. They feel that he should not represent them, even though he is constitutionally won that privilege of representing them. They still don't want him to be represented.
Understood.
By him.
It's a very patronising attitude towards
it is.
Democracy and the people's real right to choose their leader, I have to say. So I would have thought it would call for a little bit of humility, but I suppose that's wishful thinking. A little bit of humility that might say, well, we're out of step with what the American people want. How do we go back and engage in some genuine reflection?
No, I wish
we go out and meet those people and understand their concerns. Well, that won't happen, I think.
No, if you look at the news shows today, and I stayed up last night and watched a lot of the left-wing cable shows, I thought they would say it's time to do what the Republicans did after they lost to Barack Obama. And that was, people said to themselves, we're never going to win an election with a Mitt Romney or John McCain. We need to broaden the party, and that's what brought in Donald Trump. But they're not talking about that. They're not saying that the border or the economic plan or the third sex, the transgender mania. None of that is polarizing, they think. So what are they talking about instead? We're going to blame Joe Biden. We didn't get rid of him quick enough. Or she only had 100 days to campaign. Or nobody imagined how cruel Donald Trump was. Or,
I'm ready.
Fox News didn't tell the truth. Fox News on a good night has 4 million, and the left-wing network and cable have 25 million viewers. So they're in la-la land. And I don't think they're going to get the message. If they lose the Senate at some of the levels they're talking about, we have two
Whatever's
tight
necessary.
races, one in Pennsylvania and one in Nevada, but they could very easily
they will fall.
Be 55-45 disadvantage in the Senate, and the House looks like it will remain
whatever's necessary.
Pick up. And the thing that I think the viewers appreciate is this will not be a majority.
You picked the wrong enemies.
And
you read my mind.
Sizable numbers of never-Trumpers among the Republican ranks that were more hostile to Trump.
They won't stand a chance.
McCain being one of them. But there is no John McCain, there is no Bob Corker, there is no Jeff Flake in the Senate, there is no Adam Kinzinger, there is no Liz Cheney in the House. The people who are in the majority now are strong supporters to the person of Donald Trump. And if these trends hold for the next day or two, we have this embarrassing delayed count in some states, he will be able to have initiatives
they will
that
burn.
no one has really had.
We'll make short work of them.
And there's things that he's been talking about informally and to people that they look back at Ronald Reagan and say he was the best conservative president.
Charge!
He brought in the right people and the right
you read
plans,
my mind.
but he didn't institutionalize those. And while they respect the Constitution, and Trump will not do something like the left,
help me, somebody!
Electoral college. He will do things that are constitutionally.
Damn it!
They killed one of our
like
heroes.
Break up the administrative state, like put the FBI, for example,
Come on.
in Kansas City.
Don't die on us now.
Or maybe look at one cabinet.
I'll do what's required. Understood. I'll be swift.
And so they are talking about things we have not heard said that they feel would make
as you want.
Change.
He'll be aided surely by the fact that arguments about
Zarek guides me.
pretty much better.
Not now.
Do you see any evidence of election fraud that they and he has now an authority to actually the process. And there, he sort of did last time round.
Well, last time Donald Trump had no idea what the left was doing under the pretext of COVID when they went in March and April 2020.
Let's see.
Teams of highly paid
Now would you look at that?
Change the voting laws in 9 or 10 states to
Whatever is necessary.
Of course. Of the electorate would not, for the first time in history,
It will be bloody.
they would not have identification. The right had no idea what
I'll
they
do
were
what's
doing.
required.
These ballots came in, double the number, and the rejection rate was 1/10. And so that was the basis of the law. But the ballots were not matched in the registrar's list, or they were not filled out. So rather than go down that easy route of complaining about fraud, what happened was the Republicans mastered that democratic art. So when you started to look at mail-in and election day balloting, in most states, the Republicans not only master the art of getting people to mail in the ballots, but
They're all
they
dead.
find it in a way
did you
that
guess
the
that?
Democrats had not fully appreciated, and that is
Seems I'm late for the
they
party.
scanned people
Good
who had hardly
job.
voted
And if
at
you
all,
did-
but were
Swear
conservative.
If you hadn't refused to cooperate with the...
voters,
How
then
dare
they went
not
out for
discuss
them.
this
They
now.
They just ignored others. Who never
The
vote.
file dark.
And they got them
There's no-
registered. 600,000.
They will try to stop me.
Pennsylvania alone.
Are
the
you-
state they had lost last time by only 80,000 votes. And they got them to mail. Then they got the high propensity voters. And so you can go out. They knew they would vote on election day. So the left was saying, well, in our experience, you got to be
undead.
careful because if you get an early ballot, it's not an increase. They just won't show up. But in this case, the early ballot got people that were entirely different cohorts, and they voted for the first time in their lives for Donald Trump.
Is there anything you need?
More
of them!
So it was very brilliant.
Protect Kilroy!
He did. Nobody was aware of it. The Democrats started a process with the Republicans and the Trump.
There were real fears. Like Cabby in America expressed this to me the other day. That a close result will produce violence. We know it's violence. I think the emphatic result will actually...
More of them!
I mean,
Protect Kilroy!
will America set
Yes.
I can't say what will happen on inauguration day, but they have a problem.
They will burn.
That is, there were arguments that he was illegitimate in 2016 because he did not win the popular vote. He will win the popular vote. He will win the electoral college, not by a substantial
Kilroy!
He probably will win
No.
the vote by 2 or 4%. And more importantly, the left has
I killed them.
he'll do another January 6th if he
What
wins.
As long as we
They
hold the
will be
fortress.
riots. We
Yes.
cannot have that.
The world is...
Well,
So they put
will-
themselves
yes.
in position that
The undead.
if
That
you
was
were even to
sacrifice.
demonstrate peacefully
What
and
about the stone?
patriotically
Of course,
in the fashion
you'll
that
get your
Trump said on
stone.
January 6th.
Just wait
In
here.
the left's mind, that
I will
would be
get it.
insurrection.
Here. Is this
So
the
now
one?
they're
It
gonna
is.
try to convince
In our
the American
treasury.
people if they
Thank
hit the
you.
street and try
Thank
to
me.
contest a
You still have no
popular and
idea what you
electoral
prevented from
college
happening,
defeat.
and here I
All
am,
they're doing is
not
fulfilling
even
their
knowing
own
your...
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
doing what they're
Of course.
using.
Likewise.
I don't
Sir
think it's
Catras,
gonna be very
I think we should have a word.
Especially
Yes,
because
you will get your helmet.
one of the things that people don't talk about is in 2020, the minority vote was only 12% in these large cities. And so there was a racial component that the left said, you can't go in and observe mail-in balloting because that's racist. But when you have half of the Latino vote and 25% of the black vote, and many blacks and Mexican Americans, to take one group, are actually in the larger cities and they're handling the ballots, then they are eyes and ears that are making sure that their candidate, Donald Trump, is not being cheated. And that was a dimension that no one quite understood. So there weren't these big arguments as last time.
Interesting.
Well, I have to admit, but it's over now.
So it seems.
Pull the curtains down. We're going to have
You know, we could.
Oh, I'm flattered. But after all this trouble, what I and the Death Men need most is a... But we, first of all, I'll make sure we get that helmet.
Nonetheless,
all right.
You too, friend. Who knows?
Yes. Do you need anything else?
A resumption of resistance, lawfare all over the place. The influencers, I notice they've been saying, as I understand it, what will the rest of the world think of America for doing this terrible thing? Well, the rest of the world, if you take my country, you know, the media has just been absolutely unable by and large to show any objectivity at all, and in particular, what is distressing to me as an Australian, we'll come to this in a moment, unable to assess independently what's best for us, the rest of the world, which of the two candidates in a very dangerous place might have a greater capability to handle the geopolitical challenges. But my real point here is we've got such a distorted reality from the media that it's very hard for anyone to be able to make an objective judgment.
It is.
In the rest of the world.
It is. And, you know, I've talked to very senior diplomats and I've said, do you think there's something here that Vladimir Putin invaded Ossetia in Georgia under the Bush administration? He invaded the Donbass and Crimea under the Obama administration. He tried to take Kiev and the Biden, but for 4 years when he was eager to go, he stayed within his borders under Trump. Or why was it there was no major war in the Middle East? Or why was Iran broke? Or why did China not send a balloon over the United States or not serially threaten? So they know that, and I think the world knows that. So it's a far safer place when he was there. As far as Australia, it's kind of ironic that a lot of the English-speaking countries are suspicious of him, and yet in the United States, there has been criticism from the left that he is such a partisan for the Western countries, and his mother was from Britain, and that he is especially pro-Australian, pro-British, even pro-Canadian, given the Trudeau government. And he's talked very warmly of the Japanese and the South Koreans and the Israelis. And he's not an isolationist, as he's accused. As we've talked before, John, he's a Jacksonian. And I think what it means for Australia, he's committed to be a strong ally of the United States. And what does that mean in practical terms? He's not going to let China go into airspace that's Australia's if Australia objects. He's not going to get into your internal affairs, but if an Australian diplomat says a Chinese ship is coming into our territorial waters, as they do with the Philippines, or Chinese are overflying, he will call up the Chinese and say, you are vulnerable yourself. You want me to... That's how he's transactional like that, but he has a strong sense of affinity with the countries that best mirror image the majority and the traditions of English-speaking, founded by the British. And I would think people in Australia and Britain especially would appreciate that. I mean, he's very anachronistic, and he's been made fun of. He still talks of Reagan and Thatcher and Roosevelt and Churchill, and thinks that, the British version of the European Western experience is the one closer to the American spirit, and we'll see. But I think if I was a member of the former British Commonwealth or the present British Commonwealth, I would feel that this was an opportunity to have an American president that would take political heat to be a very strong ally in a way that we haven't seen before. And I think you're going to see that very quickly. I think he's going to increase the defense budget. He's already talked about that, about breaking up the swamp stopping the revolving doors so we don't end up building $177 million F-22s or $14 billion aircraft carriers alone. We start to produce, as we did in World War II, thousands of cheap drones, thousands of Patriot missiles at a cheaper cost. A whole new way of trying to defend the West.
The thoughtful media in Australia, we do have some, are pointing
Oh,
to the fact
so the only thing.
No problem.
Splendid. Ni have strength, Corporal.
Former Prime Minister, now Ambassador to America,
Good choice.
have been personally quite unwisely in
Best you talk to Alfred.
President Trump.
He's good with me.
Yeah, do you need something? I'm a tad busy.
What that will mean for the relationship. It raises the question of people
Yes,
claiming
what
that
is it?
can be vindictive.
Where did
I know. Yes, much like many.
And when?
all I know is that my mother's employed.
What's
all in all, however, I can't. I'm not surprised. I was. I still. No.
Well, back when we met.
Why do you want to know?
No particular.
I see.
You're talking about.
Yes, I am. As Lena said, they are crucifying us, burning us alive, putting masks on our heads that destroy our minds.
Sounds like.
I suppose you could. However, figuratively speaking, a Fisher will never be a good military.
So where did?
I do not know. They left.
Could you tell?
She was different than the others. She was better than the others. But these are.
You seem bitter.
As I said, I had hoped for a different outcome. Yes. What is it?
Trump did not do that.
Could you tell me? Of course.
I will tell
you.
Goodbye.
He's not going to have local or state prosecutors work as surrogates to go after the Biden family. In fact, I would imagine he might even pardon Hunter Biden. And
good move.
He's a transactional kind of art of the deal. So with the Europeans and NATO, he talks a tough game, and then he gets them to reluctantly spend $100 billion on arms, and then all of a sudden the Ukraine war during the Biden administration breaks out, and they're much better, because of Trump, they're in a much better position to defend themselves. Of course, they don't give him any credit.
Okay,
So
I'm ready.
He talks
It's
a certain way.
Oh,
He's
Here
been
we-
actually criticized
blazes.
on the right for not being.
We've restored the.
What comes next, Iskrim?
It should be. And you, Tahar, should be the one to do it. That way, what do you say? Are you ready?
Shouldn't we?
How?
Putting on a shaper cut? Fair point.
Good.
He doesn't understand.
Then step into the
terms.
forge.
These people attack him and attack him, and he mouse off and he replies, but we're not going to get the message until we start indicting those people.
Is it over?
Sanctuary cities.
I don't
we have
know.
to have
Well, you tell me.
sanctuary
There were.
How do you feel now?
I think.
Then it worked! Niehaus hammer, we did it!
You're not.
I don't think you are, but
Does that mean?
you tell me. Think of the song, Tahar.
I'll try. No, that.
What is it?
Your father? So you think I.
A woman. Now this is...
I don't think so, but yes, this is helpful. Yes.
The eye.
Tiara's breath. The eye. Yes, my father had.
Well?
So it seemed.
Tahar.
What?
Never mind. It doesn't.
Rowan, tell.
There's nothing to.
I'll send a messenger to inform Lacane as soon as possible. He will want to be there. Let's get prepared.
Others might say it will help him govern in a very clean way to respond. Let's face it, to Americans' vital concerns. The economy is not doing well for them. Immigration's a problem, and the elites and their wokeism are mad. He will know now much more effectively how to start to change these things. Would that be a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think it is. He doesn't see that as radical. He sees it as he's called it common sense. He's taken the example of Mexico. Mexico sent by deliberation 12 million illegals here. We have 350,000 people with criminal records that were knowingly let in from Latin America and Mexico. They've committed horrendous crimes. We have the cartels that have killed indirectly, but by design in a way. By
Savage wildlife,
fentanyl
steep hills, stormy shores. The Utran Coast, also known as the Green Coast, is not known for its hospitality. Many ships have run aground in the northern storms, a phenomenon which regularly attracts wanderers who scavenge the coastline for loot.
I'm going to slap a 25% tariff on you, and I'm going to probably tax your remittance. Get 60 billion. We'll see how you like it.
I'll be swift.
And he's serious.
Sure, Zarek
he's not
guides
trying to
me.
bully people, but he does things like that. So if you have a
Up ahead.
international incident where Australia is in a very vulnerable, take your country, and they feel that they need the support and encouragement of the United States, he's not going to, if he believes it, he would agree with it. He's not going to call up and say, well, on the one hand, on the other hand, he would say, what do you need, when you need it, and I'll do it.
Will do.
And that's the type of ally he is. He's not wishy-washy. And
As you
that's
want.
what bothers the left. They think in nuances or in gradations and incrementalism. He's not that, for better or worse, he's very
We'll
decisive.
hold.
He's not reckless.
Bandits
He's
up ahead.
decisive, and he moves
They
very
will fall.
decisively. With China, with Russia, with the radical Islamic. You think what he said he was going to do
Of course.
15, he said he was going to get rid of ISIS.
Understood.
In fact, he used the vulgarity. I'm going to bomb the SHIT out of them. He said he was going to deal with the Iranians who had killed Americans in Iraq. That was Soleimani. He said that he was going to cut off Iran and bankrupt them. He almost did.
Let's
He
see.
would have if they hadn't have lifted the sanctions. All of those things he did. And I was talking, to some Israelis, diplomats, and they said, we've had so many sophisticated people in the Middle East. We've asked them for support, and they always give us 1,000 reasons why they couldn't do it.
I'll take a look.
And they were asking me as an American, what is it with your president? He came over here, and our team said to him, we'd like to finally get to the embassy in Jerusalem. He said, it always belonged to them. And then they said, they keep talking about the Golan Heights, but it's Israeli. He said, yes, it is. That's done. And then they said, when Iran is the cause of all these problems, is there any chance that we could discuss the Iran deal or the 100 billion? He said, they're done.
Not now!
We're out of the Iran deal. We're going to get this up. And then they say things like, the Houthis are terrorists, but no American wants to ruffle their feathers. Well, we'll just call
You
them
picked the wrong enemies.
And as this diplomat spoke to me, he said he did more for Israel that needed to be done, not just because he liked Israel.
I understand.
But fair and for the greater good of the Middle East. He did more in 2 months than the last.
For the fire wielders!
And he said the odd thing about him, he probably is not as sophisticated or as well read in the intricacies and the nuances.
I'll make it quick.
Diplomacy, but he had an innate and
As you want.
sense of morality, what had to be
Terror.
done and why it wasn't.
Slithering. Brutal.
And so
Ghastly. Huh?
that's why
Oh, it's just thoughts.
Israel today,
Memories.
he doesn't mention
I can still
Israel
feel them.
much. He doesn't really talk about
Whatever it was
You
that
go to
caused this
Israel, he's
massacre,
almost
the soldiers
sainted
were
figure
terrified.
Because he did more for the autonomy of Israel than any other president has done. And yet he didn't really. He may, John, have got 40% of the
I'll do what's
Muslim
required.
vote in Michigan. The more the left pandered to, yeah, he did.
Well,
Part of it was
we
one
do
of
have
the
a look in the West. We do have a look in the West that there are many people in the Middle East who
Zarek.
are quietly cheering Israel on because they're frightened of Iran.
Yes, he did.
I'll be
Hey
swift.
everybody. Hope everyone's having a great day out there. Following up on my list.
So let's told me we're in for a different 4 years.
One of the big losers. The celeb crowd. We touched on this yesterday. Beyonce, loser. Oprah, huge
We'll
loser.
make short work of them.
J-Lo.
You read my mind.
You matter. Loser. No one cares
Let's
what
burn
you
them.
think. If
Whatever's
you want to talk to
necessary.
me about what it is you're doing to your skin, I'm all in. Go on. You got my full attention. If you want to tell me who to vote for or what's happening with the economy or immigration, please sit down. No one cares. We would like to know what happened between you and Ben Affleck, what happened between you and P. Diddy, exactly what you're doing to your butt and how you keep your skin so glowy. That will end the list of things we care about J-Lo's opinion on. Taylor Swift, sorry, you effed around and found out. You do not have unlimited influence. The young girls love you because you sing songs about men who break up with you, and they can all relate to that. No one gives two shits about your political opinion, so you should take it and stuff it. That could be your next song. Stuff it. That's what the American electorate told me. We could play it on Thanksgiving as we do that to our turkeys. They will remind us of you and your political opinions. Julia Roberts, who outed herself not only as a leftist, which we knew, but as somebody who, and by the way, she's also a husband stealer. She stole the husband that she has right now in a reported affair. So, okay, maybe don't be the voice of the ad in which we talk about women betraying their husbands by injecting deceit into the marital relationship, because in the leftist view, marriages are not about honesty and talking about one's differences and agreeing to disagree on certain dicey issues, but they're about lying if you cannot persuade your spouse to believe as you do. And they believe this so strongly, put it in an ad and ran it everywhere. The ad also portrayed Republicans as unattractive, bumpkiny, backward losers. And as it turns out, that's what even the sitting president of the United States thinks about them. That they're garbage. The possible next vice president, at least as of last week, Tim Walz, thinks they're Nazis. So she does speak for a large collective, and that collective has done this to her. I'm giving the bird to my listening audience. So Julia Roberts, yet another big loser, and her pal George Clooney, who did something similar for another ad, same. You got Joe Biden out. How'd it work out for you? How'd that go? Maybe you should have said something a little earlier, like when you attended that fundraiser and you and your buddies at Pod Save America saw he was totally incompetent and non-compos mentis, and you all STFU to try to save his political fortunes. Meanwhile, it was tick-tock, tick-tock. The clock was ticking. You blew it, and only when it was too obvious to deny did you say anything. So you, too, are a big loser, sir. Hope your billions are keeping you happy today, bringing you comfort. That brings me to the Lincoln Project. I mean, I might have to move them above Liz Cheney. I think I would, but they had no standing to lose. So, I don't know, when you start off a bottom feeder and then you remain a bottom feeder, can you go from like catfish to crab? I'm gonna have to consult an oceanologist to find out, like, how does it work at the bottom of the ocean with the true bottom feeders? I have got to show you Rick Wilson. This is him, the day of the vote, with this star prediction on what was about to happen.
I have a couple of things to think about for tomorrow, everybody. Number one, Trump's gonna lose. He's gonna lose badly. He's gonna be wrecked. I don't know what the electoral college count's going to be at the end of this, but it's going to get loud and it's going to get hard for him. Their panic is extraordinary. Their events in Georgia and North Carolina are basically about as well attended as a Pokemon card trading convention in Ass Crack, Alabama. This is a campaign in freefall. It's really, really fucked up. Donald Trump is now in the same position that he described Hillary Clinton in 2016. He's weak. He can't finish a sentence. He's sick. He's meandering. He's probably dying at this point. His party is splitting apart. Yes, you MAGAs, I know MAGAs, I know. You guys are so intense. You believe everything that he says, every word that comes out of his mouth. I get it that you believe that. But guess what? He's been lying to you all along about a lot of things, and you're about to realize it tomorrow. Now, I want to say something to you, Donald, and your little minions. And your whole enabling class of the sort of MAGA influencer class. Donald, if you try to steal this election tomorrow, and we know you're gonna try, I promise you one thing, you will die in prison alone. Your family will be broken. Every property you've ever owned will be taken from you. Your chance of dying in prison is gonna go way, way up if you do what you think you're gonna get away with. It's not gonna work this time. It's just not. You're going to be it's going to be very, very tough, Donald. I'd be super careful if I were you. I think really hard about the fantasy some of these jackoffs around you are selling you. And I think really, really hard about some of the bullshit that you're selling yourself.
He took the Acela to Crazy Town. It's the day before the election. Those predictions are worth about the same as Ann Seltzer of the Des Moines Register, whose career is in tatters today. These guys should never be listened to about anything ever again. And it was not just Rick Wilson, who, by the way, is also part of that infamous Don Lemon clip with these Republicans with their maps. Okay, the hateful, hateful person. George Conway in The Atlantic. America did this to itself. This is his post-election rage. The man elected president last night is a depraved and brazen pathological liar, a shameless con man, a sociopathic criminal, a man who has no moral or social conscience, empathy, or remorse. He has no respect for the Constitution and the laws he will swear to uphold. And on top of all that, he exhibits emotional and cognitive deficiencies that seem to be intensifying. He says, my own hope and belief about what would transpire last night was sadly and profoundly wrong. Like many, I have the emotional and intellectual flaw, if that's what it is, of assuming that people are wiser and more decent than they actually turn out to be.
Pathetic.
I feel chastened, distraught about my apparently naive view
Iskrim's
of
plan
human
worked.
nature. You see, that is
By
the
joining
problem
your
with the guys
mind
of
to the collective
Lincoln
subconscious of the
Project. They
Shapers,
overestimated
you were
us.
able to locate the
They
origin
thought we
of the
were
Song
all
of the
smarter
White.
and more decent.
The
They've
marshlands.
been reminded that we are dumb and disgusting and unethical. Okay, that's good luck winning the next election. It's not going to work out so well for you,
Tahar,
George
there.
and Rick.
Bertrand?
That's when you sent me to welcome you.
Oh,
What
yeah.
about Iskander?
Wait,
I
the
thought
Don
you'd still
Lemon
be there.
I
That's
was
another one.
until recently,
He did live
but that's
stream.
there's
Someone
good
told me that
news
there's a
and there's
live
bad
stream
news.
from
Let me
the
make this
election.
short.
We're checking.
That's bad. He wasn't
Um,
sure of it,
Don
so
Lemon
he
did
only
a live
came with a
stream
small
during
division of
the
soldiers.
election.
Damn it.
Let's just take a
I know.
look at
There
how
was
that
no
went.
way you could have known this would turn into a full-fledged battle. But there's no time to turn back now, and we have to come up.
Lightbringers?
That's not really new.
What? No, the Bane.
You really believe?
If that's what you want, a lot has happened since your escape from Greykeep. More and more people.
Sounds like a religious militia.
Oh, what is that army of yours if not a militia? This country is
Lightbringers?
That's not
what? If a lot has happened since. Oh, what is that army?
And how will he do that?
That's where you. It will. Aeonir is guiding us. I don't know. Well. Oh. Well.
Once we secure.
The Harbinger will know, but I assume we will. No, I.
All right.
You will. Aeonir's blessings to her. And stay safe. I'll be here if you need me.
I think within
if you insist,
especially within my community, that we really
We're Democrats.
Sure.
We want everybody to have everything.
Understood.
Our problem is that
I'll
we
do
are
what's required.
open-hearted
Got
in
it.
a world that clearly, when you look at the votes, are very kind of narrow in how they think in their worldview.
Let me jump in
Zarek,
here, because I think this says, as I've been saying, this says more about America. The Republican Party's not this.
Understood.
The Republican Party's not that. It is. It is. The Republican Party
Of
is
course,
not.
understood.
America is a racist, sexist country. Let's just face it. I mean,
good move.
I don't believe that there is a lie there. So, I just don't.
Got it.
Do we have any lemon heads we can talk to?
Oh, I see. See, you guys wasted your time with me on a broadcast that now has over 4 million viewers. You should have been watching Don Lemon call you all racists and sexists and lemon heads, if you happen to be one of his fans, as they navigated through overwhelming technical difficulties, dings from other people's computers, weird voices in the background that were drowning out their message.
Understood.
I think it was God.
I'll do
I'm
what's
not gonna lie.
required.
I think the Lord
I'll be
intervened to
swift.
try to save his
I don't think we
followers
should go there.
from
The
that
storm has
brain
completely
damage
soaked the
that he
ground.
was
It would be too
inflicting on them.
dangerous.
It's so fun to watch.
As you want.
I haven't gotten the New York
All right.
Times article. This is too fun. I need to stay with this
Zarek
for another
guides
minute.
me.
Okay, while we're on the hysterical reaction, what kind of a discussion would be complete if we didn't go to our old friend Keith Olbermann and see how he's handling the news? Let's check in.
Understood.
A note about this podcast, it will continue, but not right now.
Oh, God.
Gonna take the weekend off. I do think the podcast has suffered from being a little conservative. needs to be a little bit more pointed. It also needs to be not 5 days a week. I'm getting old. And probably not daily. So let's say this.
They will
I'm still
burn.
working on this. I'll bring you at least 2 of these a week, and definitely, let's
You read
plan
my
on this,
mind.
a new one every Monday morning. Does that make sense? I mean, you don't want to hear more about this anymore than I want to talk about this endlessly. When something interesting happens, something you may not have heard, something that has struck some memory, or perhaps some insight
They
within me,
will
I
fall.
will bring it to you.
Zarek guides me.
Because bluntly, if the vice president had won, I was going to retire. Or at least semi-retire.
Sure.
Can't do that now, goddammit. I mean, I need a nap.
Of course.
Okay. So he throws out at the end he might have retired, but really he's not retiring, but he has to go from 5 days a week to 2 days a week because of Donald Trump. So there you have it. We are already making America great again. A little less of Keith Olbermann because of Donald Trump. If you're tired of the same old coffee from the big mega corporations pushing their woke agendas, listen up. It's time to take a stand and support a brand that truly embodies American values. Blackout Coffee.
I'll be
They
swift.
stand with
I'll do what's
hardworking
required.
Americans who believe in family, faith, and freedom. They roast some of the most incredible coffee you will ever taste using only premium grade beans, roasted and shipped to you within 48 hours. And for the cold brew fans, Blackout Coffee is excited to announce the launch of their 2 new
What do you
ready-to-drink
require?
cold brew coffee latte options. Don't settle for less. Make the switch to Blackout Coffee. Head on over to blackoutcoffee.com/MK or just use the code MK for 20% off your first order. Blackoutcoffee.com/MK.
What do we need?
The
I am
code is
ready.
MK. Join the movement. Taste the difference. Remember, with every sip, you are supporting a brand that stands for America. Be awake, not woke. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes. Back in the day when I was on the prime time of Fox and you were on the prime time of CNN, a couple of hours after our shows ended, late night comics would come on, and they occasionally would make us laugh, Pierce. I mean, occasionally they understood that they were in the game of making everyone laugh. As you know, they've abandoned that game now, and they're just political operatives out there. Colbert, Kimmel, Seth Meyer, who I struggle to even mention that guy's name. He's such an absolute prick. I can't stand him. But anyway, it's just my thought bubble out loud. We took a look at some of their reactions to the news of Trump's win. Look at this.
Hey there. How are you doing?
Yes.
If you watch the show regularly, I'm guessing you're not doing great. Yeah, me neither.
Let's be honest, it was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go. For healthcare, for our climate. It was a terrible night for poor people, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO. And guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him, too. You just don't realize it yet.
Said he would be a dictator on day one. The question now is, what will the rest of us be doing on day one? Now's the time to stand in solidarity with our friends, with our neighbors.
No, there's no getting through here.
It happened. Again.
Prepare yourselves.
And in this democracy, the majority has spoken, and they said they don't
You
care
picked the
that
wrong
much about
enemies.
money. The first time Donald Trump was elected, he started as a joke and ended as a tragedy. This time he starts as a tragedy.
Look at that. More
What are you talking about?
Oh, so which leads me to the question:
Any comforting
who are
words
you
for
if
them,
you're
Pierce?
not with them?
Just a trap.
The Mystere
and
me?
get over yourselves.
Just a
Honestly,
lost
it's so-
heart. You're joking, right? You don't. If they, the story.
The real reason they're weak is
so,
that they know they've spent years
what for?
over-demonizing Trump as the new Hitler, and he's going to wreck everything, wreck America. He's terrible,
All right.
he's a fascist,
We'll
he's a
help you
neo-Nazi,
if the pay is
blah,
right.
blah, blah,
How
blah,
is
blah.
this?
Let me
And
see.
What happened this week?
Yes,
America,
that's
having
fair.
already seen Trump
Well
as
then,
president for
let's
4
get
years,
started, shall we?
and seen 4
Break is
years
over,
of what then
boys.
followed
Get
under
moving.
Biden and Harris, they went out in record numbers, white, black,
We're ready. Just get the
Latino,
word.
men, women, all demographics,
Yes.
and they voted for apparently the new Hitler. In other words, they didn't believe a word of what these guys were saying. And I would say further, Megan, what the hell happened in late night in America? When Johnny Carson was the king of late night, nobody knew who he voted for. Nobody knew.
I understand.
He made a point of mocking both sides. Jay Leno said yesterday, he said, I don't like Trump, but it was a great week for democracy. And salute to Jay Leno. I interviewed him last year about this. He doesn't understand why these late night guys want to be so
They won't stand a
obviously
chance.
partisan. Why? And they're all partisan one way. And there's a reason why Greg Gutfeld is kicking all their backsides in late night on Fox. And it's because he's genuinely funny. He's a comedian. These guys think they're sort of preaching to some weird choir that wants them to be terribly serious and take all this very personally when their guy, or woman in this case,
Feeling up for
election. We don't give a stuff. Just be funny. And one of the things that I don't watch any other thing, but I see the clips.
As
so
you want.
worthy.
I understand.
The virtue signaling is so pathetic. Get over yourself and go back to being funny. I think the ship has sailed for these guys. And it's interesting, they talk about and diversity.
Whatever's
and all that
necessary.
kind of- They're all middle-aged white guys. You know, all of them.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
So, my advice is, if you believe in diversity, get a few more diverse people in there who can actually make me laugh.
Careful.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Deserve it.
No, what they want with that
hut
virtue
is still in
signaling
good
is
shape,
for you to
though.
rub their belly.
Maybe
They
the
want
fishermen just left because of the
leftist
storm.
elites to rub their little pupper bellies. That's what they're looking for. Please rub my pupper belly. Oh, it feels so good. I'm so much better than everybody else. Those losers who voted for that evil man Trump. And you see it in the comment
be
by
swift.
Colbert. And it was also a terrible night for you people
I'll do what's
who voted
required.
for him. You're basically just too stupid to know it then. I mean, he said, well, you just don't realize it yet. Like, you're not smart, like I am.
But no, it's so delusional and so patronizing. And he sort of assumes everyone's had a bad night. Hey, Stephen, buddy, over 70 million people voted Trump. Voted for your girl, Kamala. And you know what? That means most Americans are not feeling like you. They're not. They're feeling happy because their person won.
Got it.
And the reason their person won is because this whole, as Elon Musk calls it,
course.
the woke mind virus has actually, I think, with this election result, been eradicated. We found a cure. And the cure is Donald Trump backed by Elon Musk.
Hard to
and
believe
Joe
there was a
Rogan
time
and
when
these other
people actually
guys
lived here.
who actually,
They still do,
Rogan
in the
and
East.
Musk both used
And
to
while the
be
environment may be
Democrats,
hostile,
but they just
I do not
got
think the
sick and
villagers have
tired
many
of the
troubles with
progressive
raiders.
left and this woke mentality, which is the kind of thing which not only tolerates but actively encourages biological men to beat up women in boxing rings in the Olympics. It's that mentality which I think this election result has literally shown the world it's over. People
This is
don't
it.
want to have this crap anymore.
Strange that
I put
Sentenza
myself
hasn't
in the same
reacted by
category.
now.
I used to be more
He must
on
have
the
heard the
left,
fighting.
socially,
Maybe
at
the
least.
storm drowned the noise?
And it was the woke
It's possible,
mind virus
but
that
not
completely
likely.
destroyed that for me. And I'm, became much more active on these social issues once they started hurting our children and ruining people's careers. You speak of the white middle-aged men who are lecturing us about diversity and so on. I got another
You
one
read
for
my
you.
mind.
His name is Lawrence O'Donnell of MSNBC. Take a listen. Spellforce.
Oh my God.
When he was editor of the newspaper, The North Star, Frederick Douglass wrote, "We hold woman to be justly entitled to all we claim for man." That was a very unpopular opinion among white men in this country at that time, and it remains an unpopular opinion among some white men in this country to this day. It may be that not enough people in this country yet believe in the full equality of women to elect a woman president of the United States.
We stand ready.
Thoughts on that?
Sure.
Yes? No, it's not because she's a woman.
All right.
And it's not because she's a black woman. It's because she was a useless candidate. And by the way, the Democrats knew that because when she tried to run before for their nominee, she got bounced out
I'll
in the
make
first
it quick.
round. She then
That's the
became the vice
Godstone
president
Bertrand was
and
talking
was
about.
hugely unpopular.
Let's light it.
And was working under a president whose approval rating was
They
in the
will
tank.
fall.
And that is the person they decided to coronate without any democratic process as their candidate to take on Donald Trump. They brought all this on themselves. I mean, I was watching MSNBC for a few minutes last night, as an act of
Harbinger.
And what made me laugh was they were trying to explain to each other. Rachel, Maddow, and I think Lawrence, they're all there, whining away, and they were trying to explain how Trump
Good
had
work,
run
Tahar.
Latino
The
vote,
All-Father clearly
while
smiles on us.
simultaneously, according to them, being the most racist human being to ever
The All-Father.
Of course. So, this is where you put time to...
First of all, we need to get through the gate. Why hasn't General Noria reacted yet?
Because he wants to be the one.
How do you know?
Because I know men of his kind. He's proud and consumed by it.
But the purity is under the Lord Marshal.
Well, both Lord Marshal. The only reason...
Then you're taking...
I'm not. I've told you before. Let me take care of it.
Is there any more purer embodiment of fascism than the woke mindset, which is you dress like we say you will, you talk
General
like we
Noria.
say you will, you laugh at jokes that we approve,
General,
you read
are you
books
ready?
that we approve,
Aren't we
you watch
walked
television
a
and
battle?
movies that we approve, and if you don't do all these things, we will absolutely annihilate you. We'll shame you, we'll vilify you, we'll humiliate you, we'll cancel you,
Understood.
we'll get you fired from your jobs.
I'll take a look.
The embodiment of fascism. So the fascists are not actually Trump and MAGA and his supporters.
Yes.
It's actually
Just give the
Kamala
workout.
Harris and the woke followers of hers who have pursued a philosophy of fascism now for years. And what we saw with this election result is that
I'll do what's
mindset
required.
getting crushed.
Walking right into the lion's den. This has to be by far the most foolish thing I've ever done.
Just trust the Harbinger. He knows what he is doing.
American values. Blackout Coffee. They stand with hardworking Americans who believe in family, faith, and freedom. They roast some of the most incredible coffee you will ever taste using only premium grade beans, roasted and shipped to you within 48 hours. And for the cold brew fans, Blackout Coffee is excited to announce the launch of their 2 new ready-to-drink cold brew coffee latte options. Don't settle for less. Make the switch to Blackout Coffee. Head on over to blackoutcoffee.com/MK or just use the code MK for 20% off your first order. blackoutcoffee.com/MK.
I
Code is
understand.
MK. Join the movement. Taste the difference. Remember, with every sip, you are supporting a brand that stands for America.
Now would you look at that?
Not woke.
Good move.
We stand ready.
Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.
I'll do what's required. Interesting. Let's see.
Yes?
Understood. Let us see.
We'll make short work of them.
It will be bloody. I understand.
They will burn.
Whatever's necessary.
I'll make
it quick.
We'll make short work of them.
You read my mind. They won't stand a chance. Prepare yourselves. I'll make it quick.
For the fire wielders!
You picked the wrong enemies.
You read my mind. They will fall. It will be bloody. I understand. Whatever's necessary.
Let's burn them.
They won't stand a chance. Prepare yourselves.
Burn them.
I'm only getting started.
Whatever's necessary.
Just give the word.
They will fall.
Let's burn them.
Commander?
That way. All right.
Careful.
Yes?
So this is how it ends.
It doesn't have to.
Doesn't it? What do you suggest, Corporal Tahar? That I let a traitor run free? Together with his lunatic cultist friend who is scheming against the crown?
These people in Leonon were—
You didn't know! All you had was the word of— Believe me, of all the atrocities I've seen in war, almost all of them are vanity. That's what it—
By the light, General! We both want the same thing.
You're as bad as them, Corporal. Enslaving yourself to this mad—
That's not—
Don't, Bertrand. It's pointless.
We know where the blood—
Why? What can you do that we, the Royal Army, can't? But thank you for the information. I had been wondering what the fabled Rondar Lacane and the prodigal Corporal wanted in this marsh. Now I know.
You couldn't stop the blood burn even if you killed us.
Well, we'll see about that.
There needs to be—
No. Men, you know what to do.
As you want.
Fine.
Whatever's—
Zarek guides me.
It will be bloody.
You really think it'll be that easy?
Sure.
Bloody traitor! No. This is wrong.
He's gone. I'm sorry it had to come to this, Tahar.
It was his choice.
It was. Now let us end this. Whatever causes the blood burn is right. Well, then we are one step closer. I'm good. Bertrand, you
Of course. Good luck to you, my friend. My prayers are with you.
You read my mind.
Commander?
Fine.
Tahar. What is the honest answer? Anselm, he wasn't like... what?
Sure.
You too.
We stand ready.
Of course. Corporal?
As you descend the dank stairway of Castle Waite, a memory flickers across your mind. Your father, standing over your cradle, eyeing you with a...
So this is it. Intriguing.
This place is definitely where the strange magical signature of the marshland comes from.
But what causes it?
We will find out soon enough.
Got it.
We'll make short work of them. They will burn. We'll make short work of them.
Whatever's necessary.
You picked the wrong enemies.
Will do.
We'll make short work of them.
They will fall. I'll make it quick. I'll do what's required.
I understand.
I'll be swift.
Sure.
Yes.
They will burn.
Understood. Tiara's breath. What is that?
It looks human.
No, these aren't human. They don't have, and never had, any essence. What are you implying? That they've been created somehow. Didn't you tell us about this nightmare you've had since you were a child, Tahar? The one in which you saw these bizarre constructs. Of course. These are the things from my dream.
That's interesting, to say the least.
They won't stand a chance. You read my mind.
If you insist.
Blazes. Do you see that?
It walks.
This is bizarre. Do you... What happened? Huh. It seems to understand us. What are... Do you know... I think we're wasting...
We should kill it.
What?
This entire place. It's a blasphemy. Only the All-Father should have the power to shape life like that. And we should free this thing from its suffering.
I doubt it is suffering. It only seems to be capable of very primitive emotions. We will not kill...
All right. Then do as you wish.
Got it. Understood. As you want.
Got it. Sure.
For the fire wielders!
I'll be swift.
Good move.
More of them. How many did he create?
Blasphemy. No human. Cheap life like this.
I understand.
Sure. Zared guides me.
I'll do what's required.
Fine.
Got it. Yes.
Sure.
Understood.
Got it.
As you want. Of course.
Sure.
Understood.
Good move.
I'll be swift. Careful. Bye.
Do you know this?
It looks like someone I knew.
So she was arrested.
She defied my father.
She's a revenant now. This...
Of course. A ghost seeking closure.
I've seen my share of the undead, but this, like Lacane said, when a person dies with an unfulfilled desire, a scourge, that person may return to the world as a revenant. Huh.
It. And no, it isn't. Revenants are guided by raw emotion and magical.
If a revenant is a ghost seeking closure...
Probably.
Isamo.
By the light.
You took me, Tahar. You took me. You took Zane. You took your own child. But it's over now.
Tiara's breath.
Helena, I... No! Damn it, Helena! Remember, I am not Isamo.
This is pointless. She doesn't listen.
Helena, please! It's over. She has been for a long time, Tahar. I don't know what was...
Revenants only return once. If not...
I don't understand.
It doesn't mean anything. A revenant's...
Let's just move on. Understood. I'll do what's required.
Let me recover!
Understood.
I understand. Got it.
Got it.
That way. All right.
Understood. Walking corpses. Take them down. Of course.
Sure.
Will do.
I understand. That way. All right.
Zarek guides me.
We'll hold our ground.
Sure.
Fine. Let me recover!
I am ready. Got it. Books, books, books. Did my father read all these?
Unlikely.
Let us see. Understood. Whatever's necessary. I don't understand why my father never told me about this place.
Well, he always had a lot of secrets.
You picked the wrong enemies.
You'll regret this. I understand. They will fall. You read my mind. Do you hear that?
The Song of White.
Yes, but it's clearer. And it seems to be coming from down that hallway.
Then we know where we have to go.
It will be bloody.
We'll make short work of them. They will burn.
The song.
Indeed. Incredible. All this energy. I've never felt anything like it.
Me neither. Whatever's behind that door, it must, or maybe...
What?
Nothing.
Any thoughts?
No.
I'm sorry?
Whatever is in there, you, the pariah, needs to face it alone. It's what I saw in the vision, and thus, it's Aenir's will.
This is foolish. It's too dangerous.
It doesn't matter. It's the Allfather's will, and we will obey.
This is too dangerous. We go in together, or we don't go at all.
No. You will do as the Allfather wills, and proceed alone.
Else?
Else, you will suffer the consequences. With the command to kill you all on sight, should...
But this is crazy. We've no idea...
You will handle it.
I don't really have a choice.
You don't.
All right.
Wait. Whatever you find in there...
I don't follow.
Just... never mind. Maybe you'll see, maybe you won't. Now, go on in.
Will do. No turning back now. Tiara's breath.
My child. Your mother.
Wait, you...
I'm your mother. You are the blood of my blood. And you find... I'm your mother. The quiet man, Isamo. Please, child, sit down. I believe we have You are silent.
Yes,
All those years I've spent in this slumber. Oh,
I'm afraid it isn't. Why is it that...
Well, I did not know his true name until years after my awakening. And before...
So...
I was awake. But at the same time, I wasn't. Whatever...
That must have been...
It was. And there were times where...
Why can I understand you?
We don't know. But you joined your spirit to the Nexus, didn't you? Our minds are connected. Thus, I can hear you.
You said that my father...
I am not sure if I can even give you... See, my child, the quiet man, Isamu. I do not think he ever considered what he saw me as.
The essence.
The source of all magic. Your father's race. They are only able to access it. We, the Zalon were different. We have always been closer to the essence. We had understood how to...
So the essence...
Yes, but there were, and probably...
Did you ever try to...
Of course, but it was pointless. I could not speak, and I...
So you're saying that my father wanted...
Yes, he was obsessed, but what he was trying to do, transferring my aura, my powers onto himself, was
Why was it impossible?
Because an aura is as unique as a person's eyes or their fingertip skin. It cannot simply be put on and off like a...
Which is why he tried to find another...
Yes, he tried transferring my energy to a talisman, to these flesh creatures he created. Then he created you. It's strange.
But...
It is possible. The way we conceive.
How?
It's complicated, and I do not want to talk about it with my own child. What matters is it worked.
I'm sorry.
I understand. Believe me, I do. Although, but now that you're here, it feels surreal.
So this is where the nightmare comes.
What nightmare?
Ever since I was a child, I had these dreams. I always...
Yes, that is possible.
So I'm...
Once again, this has to do with the way we conceive. But I do not...
What happened then?
He took you away. For what purpose? As for what happened afterward, and once you...
What exactly happened?
You don't...
How should I?
Yes, how should you? I am sorry, child. But you see, a Shaper does not always have that connection to the essence the quiet man was looking for. When they come of age, your father, he did not know it.
So this is what happened?
It's less about ritual, but something that happens with age. It would have happened far earlier, and the energy that was set free also lifted.
But what does that mean?
No, the mending only provides the child with a key. Finding the door is a lifelong quest. But yes, deep down inside...
I still can't believe you're...
Shaper. That's how the quiet man called me.
I know, but how is it...
Yes, so it...
But how did you...
I do not know how my people died. Believe me, child, I was one of the Ulas caste. The scientist, the scholar.
The scourge?
A disease. It had been ravaging. It ate us up. From the
Most scholars who studied your...
Then they are wrong. We had found cures for... And there was...
But you survived.
Through a ritual. An experiment. Looking back, I wonder why I was so eager to keep it. By the face of time, it's strange to tell you this. Millennia have...
How old were you?
90 years. Half my life.
So you were...
A member of the But this is not the time to share memories. And we will talk. There are...
Then the experiment worked.
So it seems. Only that when I woke up, our minds do not seem to be so different. So I...
But I still don't understand. What's...
Yes, I have done nothing else since your father took you from me. But it was only a short time ago that I finally started to feel that I could sense your presence somewhere out there.
The dark corners of...
Well, every spirit has two sides. One that the mind can see.
My father died a year ago. Could this be the reason that we only...
He is...
Yes. He started a
I see. I always knew it would come to that, you know. His hunger. This...
How does that make...
That is a good question. I do not know.
So his death broke whatever spell he had imposed on you. And because of that, your telepathy finally...
That is the only...
So it was telepathy. But how come only...
Is it not obvious? Because having magic, I did not know the form my thoughts would take on, but it seems that there is poetry in that, isn't there? What do you mean?
Your song. It was lethal to everybody who wasn't gifted with magic. Thousands of people died.
But the name of the sun,
I just don't understand.
I don't know. Maybe it was too much for their minds to bear.
But it's over now.
Yes, it should be, but wait.
What are you... No!
I'm sorry. It was necessary.
What did you do?
What do you think? I fulfilled Aener's prophecy. Searching for a cure, the pariah seeks the truth. A lost mother will be found and awoken from her slumber.
You knew about this?
Yes, I did. I knew that the blood burn was caused by a Shaper mother looking for her lost child. But though I certainly did not expect it to...
But...
Isn't it obvious? Because I needed her essence. The key to the Archfire, as we call it. Through its power, I will be able... I'm sorry, Tahar.
Understand?
She is not dead. Her body may be, but not her mind. Inside that amulet, she's still alive.
Where are the others?
Put to sleep.
If you...
I did not kill them. As defilers, they will be put to justice, but that has not been done yet.
I don't get it. You did.
No. The blood burn had to be stopped. Unlike what you might believe, I do care about the people of Io. But he also told me something else. That purifying the world, freeing it from defilers, and making people see their sins is...
Why?
It's called the opening of the gates. A rift, a portal. One through which Aenir can step back into this world. And this is what he chose me for. His most loyal servant. He needed the Archfire's power.
Give me that amulet now.
No, I will not. Your mother is what we should all be, a tool of the All-Father. Once again, I am truly sorry. But the All-Father's visions were clear. The pariah needs to die after the mother has been found.
But I helped you for heck's sake.
I know you are, but it's the All-Father's will. Just try to see it as the honor it is. Many of my scions would have given up.
I'd love to see you try.
You will.
Understood. Will do. Got it.
I need healing.
No, please,
Aenir will honor your sacred...
What the...
You won't. No. What?
Ellen's right. Hey, quick, over here! Yes, yes, just like that. Stay with us, Corporal. Stay with us.
What's the matter? What happened?
Tahar's awake.
Lord Marshal Arendir? What in blazes are in here?
It's a long story.
Yes, and there will be plenty of time for the length. Sorry to say it like this, but you look like shit.
Charming as all. What?
Your mother?
Yes, it's hard to explain. She was in... I don't know how to say this, but...
All right.
It's the
Well, that's...
all right. Start over. From the beginning. What happened? I'm sorry, but...
Well, I doubt she's lying, I have to admit.
Neither did I.
It's just anger now. I think we've moved past the...
5 weeks?
Yes. To be honest, if you're...
Which leads us to your mother.
Yes.
And I assume by...
The source.
So the theories are true.
An explanation.
Well... The Harbinger has gone rampant. Briefly put, the purity of light is...
What about the Queen?
She's alive. The Harbinger knows he can't kill her. According to our spies, the Queen's Guard and the Purity...
Wait, the Purity controls the keep?
Yes, it sounds absurd, I know. But though I doubt Lycane's long-term plan sees the Queen at his side.
Grey Keep?
They were already in the keep when Lycane gave the order. And we simply... And yes... I know what you're about to say. But it's my fault. Because I tolerated the purity in the first...
But why?
To prepare Io for the arrival of Aenir.
Yes. That's the reason they want to clear...
Well, it seems that they've spiced up their idea a little since it was taking too long. It's not just mages they kill anymore, but everybody who doesn't convert to their religion. So...
Shit.
Be that as it may, your recovery couldn't be more timely.
What about the charges?
Is that still important?
It is to me.
That's very honorable. Given the recent events, your sentence has been lifted. You are pardoned. And if that is your wish...
So you acknowledge...
I don't think this is something we should discuss now. We can talk about it later. Do you accept my offer?
That would mean...
Good. However, we cannot make this official until Greykeep is reclaimed.
How did you even get...
Later, Tar. I'll tell you all you want to know.
Since you saved me from the dungeon.
She's here in the Nexus. We saved her, but she seems to be in some kind of a coma. For a while we thought it was the same as your condition, but now that you've told us the full story, it makes sense.
Then we need to...
If she can, maybe we'll even get our chance sooner than expected.
What about the charges?
Is that still important?
Well, considering...
I'm glad you're able to. Given the recent events, your sentence has been lifted.
That would mean...
Good. However, we cannot...
For what it's worth, the encounter...
Elaborate.
Well, when I awoke, my mom...
Less fancy word...
Well, I think it allows me to...
Finally.
Indeed. Anything that...
No. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly it changed.
Lord Marshal.
Speaking of Nor.
The Purity. They...
Put up defenses all around the perimeter.
Hundreds, sir. And House...
Myra?
Wait, what?
As I said, yes.
Then make sure that she does not...
Yes, sir.
There needs to be... off.
Yes.
Yes?
Corporal? Need anything?
Goodbye.
Huh?
Yes?
Yes? Can you tell me more about your craft? About demonology?
Huh. And why's that? Thinking about...
Well,
It's take a devourer. Once you it's not just the power that's...
And I'm...
as a result, they're... because it's...
Is there...
No. If they're... Sure.
What's next?
What do you want?
Is there anything you need? Hmm?
Huh?
Hmm?
What do you want?
Corporal? Blazes. Battle noises. They're already inside.
What are your orders, Tahar? This doesn't look good.
We have to seal the entrances. If they breach either one of them...
Then we need to split up. I'll get some of my men and make a stand in the southwest.
Then I'll take over the northwest. That's the hardest one for them to reach.
Then we'll help you.
Good. And Tahar, if what that scout said is true, and House Utran is really part of this attack, don't harm her. I know my sister, and this does not make any sense at all. There must be a reason for all of this.
I didn't even know.
I don't blame you. Northander politics and family bonds are complicated, which makes this development as dangerous.
I'll do my best.
Do that. Nihalth guide you.
This way.
Got it. Sure.
As you want.
Oh.
Tahar.
Shit. So
they will soon. That masked dream. Iria!
Ellen's...
The barrier gate. Are you injured?
No, just seems like Scryer...
Can you take care of her?
Yes. I'll get her to the Nexus as quick as possible.
Probably not. He's a Dreamweaver. Get ready, Tahar. This will not be easy. I'll do what's required. They will fall. One down!
Not the real one, though!
I'll be swift. Understood. Prepare yourselves.
For the Fire Wielders! Ha!
Will do. Another illusion.
It was to be expected. Who was that man? Or woman?
If I had to make a guess, I'd say he's one of his commanders.
Of course.
That way. All right.
Will do.
Understood.
As you want.
Good move. Sure. Let's burn.
Understood. They won't stand.
Blazes! Help me, somebody! I understand.
Yes. Got it.
Sure.
Good move. Zarek guides me.
That way. All right.
I'll do what's required. I'll be swift.
I understand.
Of course.
Fine.
Sure. Got it.
Sure.
Understood. Got it. I'll be swift. As you want.
Zarek guides me.
It will be bloody.
What now? The southwest, the southeast, and the northeastern entrance are still undefended.
Then we need to take care of them.
Good move.
Careful.
You're here. Good.
It is.
Well,
What then?
mercenaries. The thing is,
What kind of weapon?
I don't know.
Whereas if you...
Or swarm.
So you want us to...
Yes. The moment it is down, we'll go for their strong point.
We could also take on their camp.
I don't think that's wise, Tahar. You'll be outnumbered, but I can't stop you.
Zarek guides me.
You picked the wrong enemies.
For the fire wielders!
Will do. Control. Need control.
I understand. That way.
Understood.
Sure.
Got it.
Sure. Got it.
I'll do what's required. Will do. There it is! Down!
Shit! Kill them!
That should do it.
I understand.
Damn it! I need healing! Please. From Aenir's Deathman.
So he's fighting for the Purity now.
Corporal Tahar. What a surprise.
Catrus, what?
Don't talk, friend. Fight.
Understood. Got it. I'm injured.
They killed one of our heroes.
Zergart.
Somebody. Good. I understand. Got it.
What do we need?
Fine.
Yes. I will stay.
Quite the breeze, isn't it?
Sure.
As you want. I'll be swift.
Huh? Yes.
I am ready. I'll make it quick.
Sure.
Damn it! I need healing.
Let's burn them.
Damn it!
They killed one of our heroes.
Come on! Don't die on...
They killed one of our heroes.